With any new Samsung phone comes one of the most feature-rich versions of Android around. There's so much on offer that it can sometimes be a bit bewildering. That's never been more true than it is with the S23 series, which comes with a massive 60GB of preloaded apps and features. But what that does mean is there's plenty to explore. I'm Cam Bunton from Pocket-lint, and in this video I'm going to show you some of my favourite features and tips to try on your Galaxy S23. Now it's worth noting in this video I'm using the S23 Ultra model, but most of these features will work on all of the S23 devices, and maybe even some older ones as long as you're running One UI 5 based on Android 13. If you do like it, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe and tap the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any more of our uploads. So let's start with the camera. And first up is shooting in Expert RAW mode. Samsung's camera has a dedicated Expert RAW designed for use with Lightroom, so you can have fine control over contrast, colors and brightness. To use it, you'll first need to download it from the Galaxy Store, but it's easy enough to get to. Open the camera app and tap More. You'll see Expert RAW at the top of this menu with the download icon if you haven't already downloaded it. Tap on it and download it from the Galaxy Store if you need to. Now when you shoot in this mode, it'll shoot either 12 megapixels or 50 megapixel RAW photos. Next up is a sky guide for photographing stars. Now this one's a really cool trick. So once you've downloaded the Expert RAW mode, there's an interesting hidden astral guide that will help you line up constellations when you're shooting the sky at night. You'll need a clear night of course, but if you open the Expert RAW mode and then tap on the stars icon, and then tap show, you'll see star constellations appear on screen as you point the camera to the sky. Next is hands-free selfies. So with the S23 series, you can take a selfie simply by showing your palm to the camera. It'll detect it, start a countdown, and then snap a shot. It should be on by default, but if it isn't, open your camera and then open the settings by tapping the cog in the top corner. Scroll until you see shooting methods and then make sure show palm toggle is on. If you want, you can even enable voice commands in that same list, and then you can just say smile, shoot, capture or cheese to take a photo. If you have the S23 Ultra, you can also remove the S Pen from its silo and just press the button on that instead. Another handy camera trick is using the volume buttons as a zoom. In that same camera settings menu under shooting modes, you'll find a press volume keys to option. If you tap it and then select zoom in or out, it'll turn your volume key into a zoom for the camera. Tap up or down to zoom in or out of the shot. It's particularly useful if you want to keep your hands off the screen. Another really handy one is tracking autofocus. So if you're shooting a moving object, you might want to manually inform the camera what you want it to stay focused on. Turns out you can do this by enabling the tracking autofocus feature. Go into the camera settings again and scroll down until you see a tracking autofocus option and toggle it on. Now when you go to shoot in the camera, you can tap on an object and it'll stay locked to that object even if it moves or the camera moves. Now last one on the camera tips list is shot suggestions. It's been a mainstay of Samsung software for a couple of years now, but if you open the camera settings and toggle on shot suggestions, you'll get an indicator on the screen that suggests how you can improve your framing and shoot a better picture. Moving on from cameras, and of course there's plenty of other stuff worth getting your teeth into. But be sure to check out our extensive written guide, which you can find in the description box below and features a lot more than what we can manage in this video. One of my most essential tips is bringing back the power button. As with a lot of recent Samsung models, what used to be known as a power button is now the side key, and it launches Bixby Assistant by default, so switching your phone off can be a bit of a pain. However, you can bring the power button back, open settings and then advanced features and side key, and you'll see there are two options underneath press and hold. Pick power off menu, and now whenever you press and hold the side key, you'll get the power off and restart options instead of Bixby. Another handy one is a palm swipe to take a screenshot. Sometimes button combinations can be fiddly for things like screenshots, but thankfully Samsung has enabled a gesture to make it easier for you. Just swipe the edge of your palm across the display and it'll snap a screenshot. If it doesn't work, go into settings, advanced features and then motions and gestures, and make sure the toggle is on next to palm swipe to capture. Equally useful is lift to wake. So in that same menu, you'll see an option that says lift to wake. Toggle it on and now every time you pick up your phone, it'll wake up the screen without you needing to tap it or press any buttons. Super convenient. Next is enabling the full resolution of the screen. So despite being one of the sharpest displays on the market, Samsung doesn't enable its full resolution by default, at least not on the Ultra model. Go into Settings, Display and find Screen Resolution, and now choose the highest available option, which on the Ultra is WQHD Plus or 3088 by 1440. One that I really enjoy is Edge Light Up Notification Alerts. So Samsung software gives you a few different options for notification style, and one option is to have the edges of the screen light up in different colors to alert you of a new message. You can enable it and customize the the look by going to Settings and then Notifications, and now tap on Notification Pop-up Style, and on the next screen choose Edge Lighting Style. By default it's disabled, but you can choose from one of many different styles and colors. Choose the effect that you like the most. Along a similar note is flash notifications. So if you need a more obvious visual alert for your notifications, there are a couple of flash notification options too. Go to Settings and then Accessibility, then Advanced Settings and find Flash Notification. There are two options to toggle on. With the camera flash notification switched on, it'll flash the bright LED on the back when you get new alerts. With the screen flash on, the display will pulse yellow when you get new messages and calls. Next is matching your interface to your wallpaper. So with the last couple of versions of Android, we've been able to have the accent colors in the quick settings and other menus and UI elements matching the wallpaper. With Samsung it's not switched on by default, but it's easy enough to enable. Just go to Settings, Wallpaper and Color Palette, and now switch on the toggle. Now you can choose from a number of color palette options based on your wallpaper colors. If you want to, you can even apply these colors to your app icons by toggling that method on, but this doesn't work with every single app, with many third-party app icons still unavailable. Another useful tip is long pressing your app icons to get notifications. So in older versions of Android, you could press and hold an app icon to show a preview of what notifications are waiting for you in that app. With Samsung's One UI, you can enable that function with Android 13. Go to Settings, Home Screen, and find App Icon Badges. Tap it, and now toggle the option that says Notifications on App Icons, and with this enabled, you can press and hold an icon to get a quick view of your notifications. My last tip for you is adding an app drawer button. So by default, you get to the app drawer or app screen, as Samsung likes to call it, by swiping up from the bottom of the home screen. But if you want to, you can add a virtual button to press and bring it up instead, like the old days. Just go to Settings, Home Screen, and toggle on the option that says Show App Screen Button on Home Screen, and now you'll see a button appear in your home screen dock, and you can tap that to launch the apps view. So there you go, just a handful of tips and tricks for you to try out on your latest Samsung Galaxy S23. If you did like this video, please do leave a thumbs up and subscribe and tap the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any more, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.